The Netflix original documentary, Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich, is out now, and it is guaranteed to tick you off and disgust you. This 4-episode documentary series takes a look at the ultra-rich hedge fund manager and convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. It also examines all the lives that he ruined through his criminal actions. Honestly, this is a disgusting watch. I mean, the first episode really sets the tone for everything we're about to see. We get a lot of accounts and descriptions from the children who are the victims of Epstein. A lot of the information that came forth in episode 1, I feel like I've heard before. And maybe that was on a news program or maybe some other documentary that was kind of around this. But as episode 1 continued, new information came forth that I didn't know about. And then as each episode then unfurled even more, so much more information is given to us. Now, I didn't follow the case, so I am not just entrenched in all of the information, at least before this documentary. If you did follow the case and you're very familiar with it, a lot of this might seem like retreading of some information. But for those of us that didn't really follow it or don't know a lot about it, we know a little bit here and there, we get a really good picture, or really a disgusting and terrible picture of who this creep is. Now, we get to hear a lot of first-hand interviews from the survivors, and I appreciate that because it's now in their own words. They're retelling us what happened, and that's powerful, and it's really hard to watch and really hard to hear because it's graphic. And they don't just skim over things and they don't candy coat it. I mean, they actually say what happened. And when you think about it, I mean, these are now adults retelling the accounts that happened to them, but they were kids when it was going on. And that is unacceptable. We also get interviews with law enforcement, with lawyers, and then of course interspersed throughout all of this is news footage and court hearings and court documents as well. There's even video recording of Epstein himself in depositions. Oh my gosh, the smugness of this dude as he gives some answers, the flippant attitude that he has, the nonchalance at just, you know what, no, I'm fine, I didn't do this, or you're wasting my time, you are so far below me, I don't even deign to answer your questions. Talk about just wanting to do violent things to somebody. I mean, it just pushed me even more towards that brink of just madness and disgust. All of this just goes to really illustrate how much of a sicko this dude was. I mean, the privilege that his money afforded him and then made him seemingly invincible to the law because of all the contacts and the high-ranking people that he knew because of all the money. I mean, he was connected to all kinds of players throughout the world. And that's what I really appreciate about this documentary is that it does paint that picture of how he was able to get away with what he got away with for so long because of the people that he knew, the connections that he had, the money, just the money itself and all that afforded him. I mean, good grief, towards the end, I mean, had he not come back to the United States, maybe he never would have been prosecuted correctly. The one thing I did find kind of humorous in an off-kilter type of way is how all these important and powerful people that he knew and was connected to, I mean, through photos, through video, I mean, this wasn't just some dude who appeared overnight. I mean, he had a long history of hanging out with rich and important people and leaders that they scatter like cockroaches when news of his arrest hits. They distance themselves as much as they can. And one in particular was just crazy and weird because the dude had enough gall to say that he didn't remember being with this young girl, even though there was photographic proof of it. And the pose that he's got with the girl is not some casual pose that you would do with an acquaintance or somebody that you just met. It was a rather intimate type of setting. And just, dude, you can't deny those types of things when you have the photographic evidence. And this isn't even Epstein that we're talking about. This is some other dirtbag. Now, each episode comes with a warning title screen on it that, you know, this has graphic descriptions that you might find disturbing. And realistically, the entire series should come with like a trigger warning type of thing. Because if you've ever dealt with any type of abuse, this could bring it to light because the descriptions, like I said, they are graphic. They don't pull punches. The victims, the survivors, they tell it like it was and what happened to them. And it's sad to see also how they were treated by the media and how their stories got distorted and they became the accused or they became the problems rather than being seen as the victims and who are now survivors of this terrible act. This is an interesting watch, especially as a true crime documentary. Now, like I said before, you might be very well versed in all of the things that went on in this case. Hopefully, though, it does open up some new avenues or some new information that maybe you didn't know about. And for those that don't know a lot about the case, like myself, I mean, it really does provide a good amount of information. It's not easy to watch. In fact, it's downright terrible to watch, and it's heartbreaking, and it will just piss you off because of the actions of this dude and then all of the people surrounding him and how he got away with it for so long and the people that enabled him to do it. Oh, that's a whole nother thing too. But I recommend checking this documentary out from a historical perspective for one thing, so that we don't forget, so that we know that this happened, and so hopefully things like this don't happen again. Or if they do happen, that things are nipped in the bud super quick by law enforcement, by the court systems, by whoever it is, who's ever being told about this. There is accountability, and it is swift, and that they take care of it, they shut it down, and they don't blame the survivors and the victims. Good gravy, that needs to stop too. There are graphic sexual descriptions, nudity, a lot of profanity, and terrible descriptions of violence, especially towards children. So while this is a tough watch, do you think you're going to check it out? I'd love to know what you thought of the documentary once you see it. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.